So I just decided to go straight to business today and show you guys some really cool stuff that we've developed and we've been developing in the past, God knows, eight months. 8 months of redesign of these tools back and forth, and uh, I just lost count of how many iterations and variations. I got my slides here, and I'm just gonna get started to what's new. So today we don't have much slides, just really what's new. And what's new is a brand new calculator hub. We saw a lot of the people who embedded these calculators on their website build something like this. They build a grid. You would click on them and go inside a page to try the calculator. To make it easy for everyone, we decided to build this grid that you can just plug and play. All you do is put in a piece of HTML code on your website, and I'll show you how in a sec. And this will appear. It's just magic. The other thing that's new is a comparison tool. This is a side-by-side comparison of a purchase. So I'll go through this in a few minutes. Other than that, those were the slides. So this is the calculator hub. And really all it is a nice grid menu. And everything you see here from the top of calculator hub all the way down to powered by Bandigi Inc. is just done with one simple HTML code. As soon as you plug this into your website, this is how it looks. And I'm going to show you how to brand it and customize it. So, of course, you can click on these and it loads the calculators. You can always go back and choose another tool. It keeps a history of things you use. So, for example, if you're working on the purchase calculator and the required income, you can go just back and forth, easy. If you need more tools, it's available here. Now let's see how it's actually done on a website. So I'm going to move over to the next tab, which is the editor of our website. And you can see on the left here that this is the HTML code I just plugged in, and I get this. If I were to remove it or a part of it, you can see it's just gone. So as soon as you plug it in, you get the calculator hub. Now, where do you get this? Where do you get this embed code? To get your unique embed code, all you have to do is go to canadianmortgagehub.com/web. There is just start your trial here. You get 30 days to play with it and see if you like it. We have a sample here, one as well. Okay, so once you go through the wizard, once you hit start your trial, you'll go through this questionnaire, start the trial, you fill in your domain, it will create an embed code, it will email you the embed code that you can even forward to your developer, then they can plug it in, or you can do it yourself. We have lots of tutorials on how you can embed this embed code inside your website. It's very simple. You create a page, you create a little HTML box, and you just paste it and you save. It's that easy, actually. I'm going to show you, once you create an account and you get the embed code, you get access to this admin console. This admin console or dashboard tells you the traffic. For example, I sent out a mass email to everyone to join the call yesterday, and we had 4,500 usage of the calculator that day. And you can see about 700 unique visitors. Now, to customize the calculator hub, you go to embed code, you select the one you have, and here it is. So let's just play with it. Let me put the calculator hub and see what it looks like. Okay, we got purchase calculator on top. What if I want compare on here? So easy. I click on the hub. I want compare on top, right? So I just drag it over and save changes here. If I were to refresh this, we should see compare right here. Let's say I don't want to expose this on a public website. Like I don't want to expose required income calculator. Okay, no problem. required income calculator goes to the hidden side. Save changes. And then now we no longer have the required. That's how you can customize the order and what to show and what to hide. If you happen to have multiple websites, for example, you have a public website for your clients, and then you have an internal website, maybe you have internal website for your agents. You want to expose everything to your agents, but not so much to your clients. That's also doable. All you have to do is treat this embed code as your, let's say, public, and then create a new embed code, which is completely custom for that specific website. What else can you do here? Let me just change a few things. Let's say I want my primary color to be bluish and my secondary color to be a little bit on the green side. And then the buttons, I want to make them red. Save changes. Let's see how it looks. Well, I changed the blue color. And if I go to inside the tool, the buttons are red as I configured them. You don't actually have to touch the embed code ever again. Once you have it on your website, all the customizations you can do on your dashboard. So that's the Calculator Hub. Are there any questions on the Calculator Hub? Okay, if your website already has the calculator on it, do we now need to remove it and do it all over again? Good question, Nicole. So no, if you already have the web tools, the embed code on your website, you will automatically see the Calculator Hub right now. So if you go on your website, it should be there for you. If there's any tools missing, that's when you need to come to the admin dashboard under the hub, and then probably it's going to be here. Drag it over to this side of the fence for it to show. Okay, so there's no increase in price. Thanks for asking that, Mike. If you have single tools installed on your website, if you have them, then you obviously don't get the hub. So if you have a page dedicated to the mortgage calculator and you haven't used the multi-tool in the past, then you don't get the hub. If you want, go to the and copy this code in there and just get all the tools. Okay, let's go see if there's any other questions. Yes, the co-branded landing pages will have the hub. Okay, thank you. All right, so we're good. We answered the hub stuff, which is how to customize the hub and how to add new tools to it. And of course, this is the code that makes it all possible. So now let's move on to the new compare tool. I'm just going to start it up. Boom, here it is. So this is the compare side by side. And I'm just going to walk you through all the features so that we know it's there. And then we're going to do a couple scenarios together. One easy one, and then a little bit more fun and complex. All right, so starting from the top, you can see that there is a place to add in the purchase price. So you can type in whatever you want here. And you can see all the numbers are getting calculated at the same time. If you happen to have multiple purchase prices you're working with, let's say you want to see 650 and 700. Tap on this area here, it says multiple. So now it will create multiple. You can change them independently of each other. Okay, single, multi, which is pretty cool because we were like debating for weeks whether we should offer one box or two or four, and that will solve the whole thing. People who are looking at differentiating scenarios by down payment, they can use a single, and then if you want to see same down payment but with different purchase prices, then you can go on and further. Okay, down the next thing you'll notice here, let me go back to single. The next thing you notice is the add scenario. Once you tap on it, it will copy the last scenario and create a new one. So just so you know it's there, I'm just going to use two scenarios for now, but we'll get to that for sure. Here, you'll notice there's a star. This one is not filled. you can actually click on it. So this is what makes the base scenario happen. And I'll tell you what the base scenario is. Base scenario is the one every other scenario gets compared to. Okay. So, but you won't see it until I do a little bit further here. So this is your location of the property. Down payment, for example, you can tap on this and you can choose. This one is the minimum down payment. So if I had to select it, you can see it's 6.15% and it's $40,000. If I were to change this home price, the minimum down payment would be different. Simple. So that's the minimum down payment. You can, of course, go to 20%. And you'll notice that at minimum down payment, there's insurance premium. That's CMAC. That's your mortgage default insurance, your MDI. This is your net mortgage amount. So this is your home price minus your down payment plus your insurance gives you the mortgage amount. This is the actual mortgage amount. So now this is a insured mortgage, obviously, because we have insurance. So the rate is no longer 6.29. I'm going to use 5.54 for an insured deal. My opposing scenario is at 20%, and I'm going to keep it at 6.29 because that's the uninsured rate. Both of them are 5-year fixed. If you need to change it, you obviously tap on this. You can change the compounding of it. You can go into detail with the amortization. You can say 23 years and 6 months, and it will update here too. Or you can just say, hey, I want 25 years, 0 months. You'll notice that we have a mortgage payments here with decimals. Let me move it up a little bit. With decimals, a lot of people say, oh, where's the decimal? Well, we made it small now. And because this is the base scenario, you can actually see a comparison now. So this one is $469.95 lower than this one, than the first scenario, scenario number 1. Which is so useful because oftentimes we see comparisons, but like, what is the actual difference? Here it is. You'll find this indicator a lot more way below. Okay, so that's the basics of this section. Let's move down a little bit. Prepayments. Okay, let me open this section up. So of course, if this is a purchase scenario and you're not really comparing prepayments, you don't really have to enter anything in here. Just keep it closed. But if this is a mortgage scenario where you are doing payment increases, let's say $100 on this scenario, oops, and $200 on this scenario, then you can actually try right here. This is your one-time prepayment, your annual prepayment, and it will tell you what your savings are down here. Okay, you can also change it to a single version. So single is, I'm gonna have $100 increase on both scenarios. So I don't have to enter it in 10 times or twice. Here it is, 20,000 lump sum on both scenarios. This multi-single thing swap, I really like it because different, if you want to just see it on all of them, you don't have to enter it in twice. Okay, single, let's set it to 0. Let's move down. I'm going to close this section because I'm not going to need it. You can add in home expenses. So this is where you calculate your total monthly cost. For example, if this was a single property, you would have a single property taxes. Maybe no condo fee. Maybe I can include $150 for heat, some other monthly expenses, and I'm collecting $1,500 in rental income. You can see that it's in negative, so positive cash flow. But you could also see the difference at the same time. Okay, let me set these to 0. All the keyboard shortcuts work on this. I made sure, like tabs, you can quickly tap through it. Those are for the power users who want to use their keyboard. All right, next section is the cash to close. Well, that's simple. That's your closing cost. So you can actually turn this on. And remember we had location on top? That's your land transfer taxes. So here's your land transfer tax in Toronto for $650,000 purchase, but I'm a first-time home buyer, so I get a little bit of a rebate. You can add in ancillary costs. Let's see what else is in here. Appraiser or legal fees. You can get into detail with that. We just made it one field. And of course, you got your down payment. So at the end, it tells you exactly what's cash to closes and what the difference is. Let's close this section. And now finally, you get your comparison. So this is your total term paid. And this is where it gets super interesting. This technically tells you this is the total payment that I made. And if you click on it, you can see the interest, the principal, and then if there were prepayments, it would show here. On the other scenario, you can see your term interest and then what the difference is. So this one is lower by $10,000. Down here, we got your balance end of term. This is your mortgage balance end of term. And you can see that this scenario is actually $97,000 lower. And the same thing goes with the amortization. And then last but not least is the difference in cost. So this one is a little bit special because how do you compare everything together and say, okay, this scenario is good? Because you have your principal payments, you got your interest, you got your balance end of term, and then you have your cash to close. So we spoke to a few brokers, and this is the best way to add them all up and come up with a number that you can actually use to compare everything and everything combined with equal priority to the other scenarios. But let's go to the top. We're going to start with $650,000, and we want to decide whether it makes sense to do a 20% at 6.29 or a 19% insured at 5.54. Which one is better? Well, let's make it more interesting. What if I put 15%, and then what I do is I want to, the money I didn't put down, so the difference, which is $32,500, I don't want to put it as a down payment, but I want to put it as a prepayment. So let's do that too. Let's go down to prepayments, multi, and add 32,500. Okay, so I got three scenarios here. I got the uninsured at 6.29. I got the 19% insured at 5.54. And I got my 15%, which is also insured. But I've added the remaining down payment I didn't put as a down payment into a prepayment immediately after it gets funded. So which one wins? Well, let's look at the payments first. Payments, the 19% is less. Okay. Even though I have mortgage insurance, my payments are less. That's pretty good because the spread, it allows for it. My 15%, the payments are higher. All right. Well, that's what it is. But let's go down to, so I added the prepayments. Let's go down to the final results. This is where it gets super good. So even though my payments are lower on the insured 19%, we will probably add a way for you to add names to these so you can see it. Yes, we will add names. But you can see my total payments in the 19% was $6,000 in the term, but my balance end of term was higher. So I owe more by the end of the term. But everything together, I'm behind 2,500 compared to the base scenario. So I can change this, by the way, make this the base, and I can see it's a win in scenario one. But on scenario number 3, where I've added the additional prepayment of 32,500, I'm actually behind a lot less than the 19%. So that's cool. But now here's another scenario that I found very interesting. So let me go back. Let me go back up. What if I were to put 20% down, same thing, but I would like the insured rate? Is that possible? Yes, it's possible if you purchase insurance. So let me add a scenario. I'm going to put 20%, so like still the same rate, but I'm going to enable mortgage insurance. I'm going to override it. So now we got 12,000 insurance. My net mortgage is higher than the 20%, but my rate is so much lower. So let's see how that works out. Well, payments $154 less. Woohoo! We don't need prepayments anymore. So let's go down. Wow, I'm actually ahead by $2,000. So this goes without saying that you can actually purchase mortgage insurance, get the insured rate, and be ahead of the complete uninsured version. And in case you're wondering what happens with insurance, well, under cash to close, you will see that there's PSD on insurance. So that's very important. That's the difference between insured and uninsured. It's not only the mortgage with the insurer's premium, but also the PSD on closing costs that you have to pay. So taking all that into consideration, which is your cash flow, your balance end of term, and your cash to close, all that, we're ahead by $2,122. How cool is that? Okay, I'm going to stop right here and look at the chats. See if there's any questions. All right, so I'm going to start from the bottom with the latest. Alberta does not pay PSD. Yes, you are right. So all you do is make sure, let's do it on insured. This is set to Alberta. So now on the cash to close, PSD, none. Okay, it's location aware. It knows what's going on here. Also, there's no first time rebate. So you can see everyone gets it. This scenario doesn't. Having GDS CDS ratios and the ability to create a beautiful reports would be amazing. Yes, that could be another section, right? That's why this modular design is so good. We could have another section where you can add in the income and some of the other debt payments like credit cards and whatnot, and we can show the ratios. But it's coming. Thanks for asking that, Mike. And I believe Ali pointed this out a long time ago, and I just tried to ignore it a few times. But he's persistent. And now Mike on top of it. Okay. Got to do it. Can we add GSCTS, GDS, CDS? Oh, wow. Marco, you're asking the same question. Yes. Perfect. Another question is, what if you want to know the capital balance at the end of the term, the loan term for renewal or refinance? I believe that's balance end of term, right? That's what you meant? Capital balance? I hope that's what you meant. Okay, this tool doesn't have a report yet. So this was a question from Jackie. Does it have a report? No, it doesn't have a report yet. In the meantime, you can just print this page. I mean, you can print it and it will obviously have your company information on top because it's in your website, I hope. But you can also take full screenshots. So I have a tool called Go Full Page. And I tap on it and it will just create a PDF. But we will have the report, I promise. 1 or 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Give us 2 weeks, please. Is this available for MA DLC? It's available to the whole world, guys. So you can get the embed code and put it on your website. It's not free. The trial is free. Of course, it's trial. But if you want to use it professionally for your business, then of course, please subscribe to one of our plans. Can you name each scenario and can they be saved? Yes, Joe, we will give you the ability to change the name or set a name at least, and then you can create a report with those names. And the saving part is a little bit different because it's on your website. But if you were to have these tools inside the dashboard in here somewhere, then yes, you would be able to save the scenarios. So that's something we're working on as well. Can you show the interest paid at the bottom once you're done? Yeah, here. So someone wanted to see what the term interests were, and here they are. Does this work on the website or even in the... Yes, it works on the website. This is the website. I'm on a website. I hope that answered the question, Noel. And we've put this out there as a sample on our website, but really what you want is you want to put it on your website, because when your clients come to your website, they want to be able to use it. Or if you want to take screenshot, it's your branding around it. This is just a sample. So just putting it out there for people to try it. Okay. If you have any questions or any thing you like to talk about, if you want to book a call with our sales peeps, Nadine, you can scan this QR code. It'll take you to her booking meeting link, and you can just find a time and chat with her. Let us know if there's any feedback, if there's any specific features you want on the tools that we don't have yet. Let us know, please. This is a feedback-driven calculator. So if there's any new requests coming in, we'll try to fit them in as much as we can. Okay.